Hey guys, so I've been gone for a minute. I had emergency brain surgery. I know, right? So here's how that all went down. We got the first video up of how to brush in your deer blind, and we were finalizing the zero on my crossbow, and we got it all edited out and put up. I believe it was Monday morning on the 30th. That meant Tuesday was opening day, so I was pretty stoked for that. We get out in the woods and we see some deer, but we didn't get any shots off on any animals. Not enough to make a video yet. The length of that video wasn't going to be near as long, maybe like 3 minutes to be honest, so it wasn't worth putting up. I was going to compile a bunch of footage from days and basically title that one, they call it hunting, not killing, because you don't kill something every time you go out. But then I got word from my doctor, Dr. Price, that we had high prolactin levels, and it was a blood test. Now, I had no idea what the hell prolactin was, or what it did, or what it went to, or nothing else. I don't know much about the human body anatomy, physiology, none of that. I don't know nothing. So he saw that and immediately scheduled an MRI. My MRI was on the 8th. So I go to this MRI and get it, and then take it over to my doctor. And after he sees it, he seems immediately concerned as to what is growing in my head. From my prolactin levels and from the MRI that they took with contrast and without contrast, again, I don't know what that all means, but he basically said, we're going to get you an appointment with Dr. Malone. Dr. Malone is a neurosurgeon at St. John's Hospital here in Tulsa. And so I go to this appointment with, I lied, just kidding. I don't go to the appointment. What happened was, I wake up on the 9th with like a really bad headache, and I'm just like dying here, because I'm like, I got a freaking tumor in my brain. Like, this is it. I'm dead on the couch. And I've got this massive headache. It's pushing on the back of my eyes, and I can feel like, I don't know, it hurt. So that afternoon, I call the wife, Amanda, and she takes me to the ER because docs are concerned. I'm concerned. Wife is surely concerned. Everybody's concerned at this point in time. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that it was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. Was right behind my eyes and in between my nose, like in between my eyes, like right in here. And at the ER, they got me in really quickly. It was a Wednesday, and it was like almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was like not like prime time, people full of bullet holes in the ER time. So I got pushed kind of to the front. They did a CT scan at the ER to check for bleeds and to check for any new growth or anything like that, on top of what was imaged on the MRI the previous day. So following that visit, like, I get an appointment the very next day at 7:30 in the freaking morning to go visit Dr. Malone, the neurosurgeon. Now, at this point in time, we're still thinking this thing is a tumor. No one has really told me not a whole lot about it. Like, we're having to do research. You know how people are when they do research. Go to WebMD and you're dying. So I didn't want to get on the internet. So everybody else was kind of researching for me and looking around and trying to find the least worrisome, I think, of the diagnosis that they could possibly find. And basically we came up with this tumor that is on your pituitary gland, and it can be shrank with medication. So we go see Dr. Malone on Thursday the 10th, and we visit with him for, I don't know, it feels like probably about an hour and a half. And then he prescribed me bromocriptine, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's kind of it. Basically, what it's supposed to do is shrink the tumor. And he said it could shrink all the way down to 1/10 the size. So I was like pretty ecstatic about that. And at that visit, he made me go get another blood sample draw just to double check what Dr. Price had drawn and make sure everything was still right. And if it wasn't, like where it was height-wise, like how high my prolactin level really was, we didn't know. So I go to bed on the 10th, still worried as hell. And then I wake up on the 11th, and my left eye is damn near shut. Like I can force it open, but I can't like voluntarily open it. It was like your body's defense mechanism just shut it down. So then I go through the weekend just taking this medicine, hoping it's going to make it better. Like, thinking back on this, I probably should have called the doctor at that point in time, and he told me that too, but I didn't. And so Monday, I went to go see Dr. Price and give him my results of what happened with the neurosurgeon. We already had an appointment set up and everything. And I'm walking in there with my left eye closed, looking like this and ridiculous. And he's like, "You all right, dude?" I'm like, "Well, my eye won't open, but I think this medicine's, my headaches have gone down a lot and I don't feel as bad. So it's not, I haven't had any migraines, or it didn't feel like there was a whole lot of pressure." When I opened my eye, like forcefully opened my eye, like it was blurry. I'm not talking like I could see, my eyes are really good. I see 20/10 in my right eye, and I see 20/15 in my left eye. I had LASIK surgery a long time ago, like 2007, and it's still working perfect. But so I force open my left eye, and I can see, but if I'm using both my eyes to look, there is like double vision like crazy. Like, it's not right. My left eye is lethargic. It's not moving as fast as my right eye is. And I don't notice all this stuff because it's in my brain and I don't know. So I get out of that appointment and I'm starting to head to the chiropractor's office at Eastern Oklahoma Chiropractic. And from there, I get a phone call. We were almost home because we were going to go let the dogs out for a minute and then run down to the chiropractor's office and then have the rest of our day and hope this medicine just keeps working. Well, I get a call like at the exit, we're like coming to the house, and he's like, "Hey, you need to go see Dr. Malone right now." So we go, okay, and that's pretty concerning when they're like, "You need to go now." So we turn around, right there, what we're wearing, didn't have any clue I was going to surgery later that day. All I knew was we just need to go see the doctor. So I said, "Okay, we're going to go see the doctor." Turn around and then head to the ER, or sorry, not the ER, Dr. Malone's office. Get to Dr. Malone's office, and he's looking at the CT scan. And my blood work had come back. My blood work, the prolactin level has actually dropped down to like 28, I think is what it was. Now, again, I don't know what's high and I don't know what's low. I just know that it wasn't the 200 plus that it was on the other tests. So I think that test was a false positive. So from that point, they determined it wasn't a tumor on my brain. This bromectine, whatever the hell it is, isn't going to work because that's for shrinking tumors, and I don't have a tumor. I've got a cyst that is like huge, and it's pushing on my eye optic nerve, and it's pushing on my pituitary gland and growing. At this point in time, they're way more concerned than I am because I have no idea what the hell's happening. I just know that my head hurts and I can't see out my left eye. So we go into surgery like now. Like, I was in surgery by what time? 8 o'clock, 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock. I was in surgery by 4 o'clock that afternoon. And from there, I get, they go through my nose. They went like right in here. Now, I still have stitches in my nose currently. I have no idea what they did, but it feels like they freaking just sliced my face open and peeled my nose back. It hurt so bad. It feels like you ever been punched in the nose? That's what it feels like, except for a bunch. So, like, you got the crap beat out of you. Like, my eyes were all almost black. Like, my nose was bad. I look like a heroin addict. I got freaking track marks all over my arm from all the IVs and blood draws and whatever else they do. So I feel and look like hell. At least I didn't get my head cut open, which I wasn't really worried about. I ain't that pretty to begin with. But so it'd be a cool scar story. Then I go, after I get moved to the ICU. I get moved to ICU immediately after surgery, and it was like probably, I think, 9 o'clock that night, or 8:30, something like that. So from 4 to 8:30 or 9, they had popped this cyst in my brain. It went through my nose, and they got all of that out of there. They took a CT scan the next day on Tuesday, the 15th, and I've gone through like 2 or 3 shift changes of nurses at this point in time, and all of them have been really, really cool. My ICU nurses were Ashley, Alex, and Allie. They were amazing. They did such a great job, and I really appreciate them. I'm recovering fairly fast at this point. Like, I think I'm doing pretty good. Dr. Malone seems to think I'm doing really, really good. Like, my eyeball is open like about like this now, and my right eye would open all the way. My left eye was kind of drooping, but I could open it, so I was ecstatic, and I could see. So I could actually see out of my eye. It wasn't blurry if I did the old one eye trick. It was fine. I could see. So like, that was a big concern of mine, and I was pretty happy about that. CT scan didn't come back with anything, so I didn't have any bleeds or anything like that. So it wasn't that big of a deal. From ICU, they moved me to the 10th floor on the 15th. This was terrible. I had at St. John's, those nurses have to put up with so much on that 10th floor. My 10th floor nurse was Deanna. I wasn't there very long because I told Dr. Malone I was getting the hell up and walking out of that place because it was crazy. They put the psych patients are on that floor. They do neurological recovery, and I can't remember, there was something else on that floor too. But there was no way in hell I was staying there. Oh, and apparently I'm the only person that they have ever heard of to walk from the ICU to their next floor. They never had anybody walk out of ICU. And I told my nurse at the time was Alex. My nurse at the time was Alex. And I told her, I was like, I'm going to walk down. And she's like, no, you can't do that. I was like, yeah, I'm going to. I got legs, I can walk, I'm good, I'll walk. And she's like, no one's ever walked out of ICU. This doesn't work like this. She's got to go check with the charge nurse. Charge nurse was like, hang on, I got to call somebody. Because they weren't going to let me walk. And I was like, well, you better get some bigger nurses because you little girls ain't going to handle it. I'm walking out of here. I'm walking down. And they were like, you can't take the stairs. I was like, well, I'll walk to the elevator then, whatever. But I'm walking. And so I walk. Eventually, they get the authorization from whoever to let me walk from ICU to the 10th floor. And we get down there, and it's like going from a 5-star hotel in the ICU to a 1-star roach motel on the side of the highway. Like, you're scared to sleep on the bed because it's gross. Like, it's not that the room was dirty. It was just night and day different. My nurse was amazing. Like, again, Deanna was my nurse on the 10th floor. She was awesome. And I was done with that nonsense. I said, I got to get out of here. I can't do this. So I told Dr. Malone, he came in and visited me and asked me how I was doing. I was like, I'm out of here. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, I can't do it in here. These people are crazy. Like, there's people yelling up and down the halls, like at like 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, calling nurses everything under the sun. Like, they had to call security like 3 or 4 times during the night. And it was like so cramped that Amanda couldn't sleep in the little chair that was next to us. It was a bigger chair, but it was like the most ghetto ass chair you ever seen. It was terrible. Terrible. And so this chair is small and she can't sleep in it. And I told her, I was like, baby, just go home and get some sleep. I'll be fine. I'm good. And so reluctantly, she leaves me about, I guess it's probably about 11 or midnight or somewhere close to there. It's pretty late. And so she gets home and finally goes to sleep and actually gets some sleep. And that next morning, Dr. Malone comes in and visits me at like 6 in the morning. I'm already awake because I've had crazies up and down the freaking hallway running back and forth all night long. I probably haven't gotten very much sleep to begin with, but I was ready to get the hell out of there. I hate hospitals. I don't like going to the doctor. Like, I don't like doing it. And so I went, and he came in and talked to me for a little bit, and was like, checked my eyes and made sure that I was seeing good, and nothing was blurry again, but it was like double vision still, and it was correcting itself. So it's coming back. Like, now I'm good. Every now and again it'll get a little bit like double visiony, but now is not that bad. So I was starving to death, and like, I was hungry. Like, I didn't eat. Okay, let's back this up a little bit. So from the time that I go to the ER until probably that next Wednesday, the 16th, when I got discharged, I had a bowl of Jello. No, 2 bowls of Jello. And what was the other thing?
Ensure shakes.
I had an Ensure shake or something. So that was it. That's all I had for like a week. I was freaking starving. And I probably could stand a few more weeks, to be honest. But, so I'm sitting here starving to death, and we go to IHOP. And my eyes were bigger than my stomach, and I just destroyed what I had, though. I was so freaking hungry. And so got all that happened and discharged there, and I'm recovering at home now. Today's the 20th. Hopefully my eyeballs are good enough to do some hunting this week, and I can now be able to drive again. Like, I haven't been able to drive this whole time because I've been scared that my double vision will act up or something like that, and I don't want to be responsible for someone else's life, and because I'm being irresponsible, I won't do that. So I just wanted to make sure that I'm good beforehand. So as it sits right now, I am going back to the doctor again. Let's see, what day was that? So I should go back on the 4th, I think. That 4th, the first Monday in November, is when I'll have another appointment with Dr. Malone, and I'll probably get an MRI done that day to just make sure everything's, copacetic and right where it's supposed to be, and nothing else is growing, and we ain't got to worry about nothing. So from here, I guess that about wraps it up. Big thank you to my surgical team, which was Dr. Malone and Dr. Hawkins. Dr. Hawkins is the ear, nose, and throat guy who I was supposed to have an appointment with today, I think. It was, I think it was on the 21st. Yeah, it was on the 21st. So, no, tomorrow. I was supposed to have an appointment with him tomorrow because that was as early as we could get in. Things got pushed up a little bit. So he came and saw me. I shook his hand before surgery, and I told him, I said, go ahead and cancel that appointment on the 21st because I'm not going to make it. I feel like we're going to take care of whatever it is right now. And he just laughed and then put me asleep. So it didn't take very long. Other than that, I think that's about it. Hopefully we're back to regular scheduled programming here. Coming, hopefully next week, I'll have a video out on the 27th. Get back out in the woods and hopefully get a deer down. We need to put some meat in the freezer. So thank you guys for being patient with me, and I really appreciate y'all. Thanks.